This program is being provided by the 15 members of the Vancouver Educational Telecommunications Consortium, TV, etc.
Going Green, how Vancouver Public Schools are doing their part to improve our environment. For these siblings, music runs in the family. Meet the Ceases. And in our flashback, we learn more about the very first high school in the city of Vancouver. Coming up on Snapshot. Welcome to the show. I'm Elena Buller. Today we're talking green schools. I'm here at Sacagawea Elementary School, which has a great environmental program, but it's not the only one. We'll take a closer look in today's Snapshot. From 2005 to 2012, the green efforts in the district resulted in a nearly 17% reduction in energy consumption. That number is even more impressive when you factor in that the district added more than 170,000 square feet in new spaces. Although it doesn't pay into the program, Vancouver Public Schools uses the federal government's Energy Star evaluation system to monitor itself. Using those guidelines, 29 schools in the district would qualify as energy excellent. As I mentioned, one of the shining examples of a green school is here at Sacagawea. Joining me now is Meredith Gannon, a teacher and the leader of the school's green team. Thank you.
Thank you.
You guys were just recently honored as a green ribbon school. Can you just tell me what that means and actually what happened? It was kind of a big deal.
Sure. Earlier this school year, we applied to be a green ribbon school, and we applied through the state of Washington, and they selected 4 schools in one district to be our Washington nominees, and we just recently found out that we were awarded the national award from the Department of Education. So we had the privilege of getting to go to Washington, D.C. to pick up this award as one of 64 green schools in the country.
What does it mean to be a green ribbon school?
I think what it means is that it's an award to showcase what we have been doing here at our school with our students in terms of reducing energy, cleaning up our water, reducing our overall waste, and just lessening our environmental impact.
So how are you getting the students involved, and what are you guys doing physically, actually, with kids to make that happen?
Yeah, well, we have a really exciting, robust green team. We have 40 students on our green team this year, which is 10% of our student population. So we've been really excited to see that grow and grow every year. And our students are involved in a variety of different ways. They are energy monitors in our classroom. They are lunchroom monitors, helping our kids compost every day. They go around and help with our paper towel composting program, and they work on a variety of different projects that pop up throughout the year.
Have you found it difficult to get the kids involved or get students to kind of go along with it, or has it been a fairly easy process?
Oh, this has been such an easy process. The kids are naturally curious about their world, and they want to lessen the impact of our choices on the environment, so I think it really feeds into their natural desire to learn. So our kids are eager and enthusiastic participants.
And so it was pretty easy just to get involved with the state program, getting the application process done?
It is. We've been working on it for about 5 years through the Washington Green Schools program, and we've received 3 levels of certification through that program. So I think the Green Ribbon program was just a natural next step for us.
That's great. And you guys are actually in line to get a solar panel.
We are. We're really excited. We've been partnering with the Bonneville Educational Foundation and with our local utilities, and they're in the process of putting out to bid a solar array, which will be installed in our school, we hope by September, and we will have a full array of solar panels and an energy monitoring kiosk in our hallway.
So what is that going to do? How's that going to enrich the program?
Well, it's really exciting because it'll let our kids monitor our energy use real time. So we'll be able to create energy to put back into the grid, and our kids will be able to see every second, are we using energy or are we creating energy?
Right, like how much are we using versus how much we're creating.
Right, and I think that awareness really helps kids to make better choices about the environment.
And how easy is it to tie this green learning environment into the classroom? I mean, it seems kind of like a no-brainer, but...
It is. Washington State has environmental and sustainability education standards that go alongside with our science and social studies standards, and so it's a natural fit for us, especially with our science kids.
I heard you guys have a bioswale as well as a garden along with everything else you're doing. Can you tell us about that a little bit?
We do. We have a bioswale that's next to our teacher parking lot, and all of the water that comes off of our parking lot goes into the bioswale and is naturally filtered to reduce contaminants. So our students are currently working on a project in our bioswale. We are planting some swale grass and some plants on the banks of the swale to reduce erosion. And all of that will help us to receive our next level of certification with the Washington Green Schools program.
Cool. And so for those of us who don't know, what's the point of the bioswale is to clean the water? Or?
It is. It's to filter out some of the sediment and pollutants that come off of our parking lot. And so it kind of filters the water down and naturally removes all of those things that we don't want to make it back into the stream.
So Meredith, let's talk about the Save Our Organic Scraps program. What is that and how does it work? A little bit more.
So in our cafeteria every day, instead of just throwing away all of the food waste that our kids produce, we sort our waste into recyclables, compostables, and trash. And we have students in our cafeteria that help our kids to sort out those things, and all of our food waste and paper waste, instead of going to the landfill, will go up to Seattle and be turned into compost that can be used in the garden. So it's really natural recycling for our kids.
Right, it's just kind of the next step.
It is.
Okay, let's go inside and get a demonstration of the Food Scraps program. Joining me now to talk about this program is Gavin Gannon. Gavin, how do you keep food from ending up in the garbage can?
Well, the way we do it is putting stuff in the right bin, and here we put milk cartons. Here we put our food in napkins. Here we put all the other stuff up here. And over here we put bottles.
Bottles, plastic
and
bottles?
cans too.
Okay, and so this is the actual garbage that goes to a landfill.
Yes.
Now, why do you think this is important, what you're doing?
Well, I think this is important because we don't want to end up every day having to throw away about as much as a ballerina weighs, like 80 pounds.
A ballerina. Okay, yeah, you don't want to, and that all goes in the landfill. You want as less as possible.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Now, is it hard to get other students to go along with this? I mean, to teach them how to do it or to make sure they don't do it? Is it hard?
Sometimes it is, because sometimes people just mind their own business and throw them in where they want.
Mm-hmm. And how do you keep that from happening?
Well, sometimes I pick this up and grab the food out and put it in the right place.
Oh, good job. Now, how does it make you feel to help the environment like this?
I think it feels really good because I really do love nature, and I feel that without trees, we wouldn't be around.
That's true. So it's a good job you're doing.
Yes.
All right.
Indeed.
Thank you. Yes, indeed. Thank you so much, Gavin.
You're welcome.
All right. By diverting food scraps out of the trash and into the compost, the school district as a whole has saved 680 tons of waste from ending up in a landfill. The SOS program is responsible for about 250 tons of that. At Geyser Middle School, students are improving water quality at Geyser Pond. It's a partnership with Vancouver State University, Vancouver, and the Clark County Water Resource Center. Students are studying macroinvertebrates. They're working to restore native plants and eliminate invasive species. Families have also gotten involved, helping pull weeds and do other work after school. Over at Vancouver iTech Preparatory, students at the WSU Vancouver campus are also studying water quality. They're examining the effects the campus has on nearby Mill Creek. This is video that students took to demonstrate their project. iTech Prep uses project-based learning, so the work they're doing on Mill Creek is incorporated into their everyday schoolwork. Speaking of water, I'm standing at Hudson's Bay High School where they're not only studying the water, they're cleaning it up. Students in the Bay ACES program work on an outdoor science lab on campus. ACES stands for Architecture, Construction, and Environmental Services. Students take courses in natural resources, environmental science, horticulture, and other scientific areas. You're looking at the solar-powered wastewater treatment facility. The kids use solar, wind, and hydroelectric power to clean wastewater. It's a magnet program giving students more opportunity and more responsibility than your traditional course load. Another major part of Bay's environmental efforts comes in the gardens and greenhouses. I'm joined now by natural resources teacher Amy Carpenter, natural resources instructor. Can you tell me a little bit more about the facilities you guys have here?
Sure. We're really lucky here at Bay. Out of the 4 high schools of Vancouver School District, we actually have probably the nicest facilities, so we're pretty lucky. We have 4 greenhouses, 2 for the horticulture program and 2 for the natural resources program, and then we have almost a half acre of gardens, and behind you see about half of those acreage.
Let's talk about what kids are learning right now. I mean, what's going on here?
So in the natural resources program, we cover a huge amount of topics, everything from energy, things like fossil fuels, both fossil fuels like oil, natural gas, and petroleum products, as well as non-renewable or all the renewable things like wind and water and hydro and all of those great things that make the Northwest so great. We also talk about things like food and conservation and agricultural production, water, salmon, anything that deals with the environment we talk about in our class.
And it's not just talking, you guys are...
We do everything by hand. We do, traditionally, we do tests, we do quizzes,
right,
but we do most of our stuff is hands-on, like our gardens. So we grow all the food that we grow here. We do preservation kind of classes in the fall. We have, of course, our big plant sales in the spring that everybody is really aware of. And so my classes do all the food and fiber, where Mr. Lorenz, he does all the horticulture, so he does all the bedding plants.
Oh, right.
So he does all the flowers.
But food, I mean, that's not so bad.
Absolutely.
How do you think that really affects the learning versus just sitting, I mean, not versus just sitting in the classroom?
Yeah, I think for a lot of our students, they're so busy and they're so stressed that I think a lot of hands-on learning is better. So I do try to get them out. We propagated about 500 strawberries, I think the 3rd day of school this year, and it was very successful because we got to have a great strawberry sale in the spring and it was fabulous.
Awesome, and they taste good.
And they taste good.
All right. I'm joined now by Bradley Gilman, and she's going to tell me a little bit about composting.
Composting, the process of composting is where you take an organic material such as food scraps or paper and allow it to break down into its original base components, and then you can use it for soil amendment, which is where you mix it back in with soils and allow it to, you know, fill the soils. Yes, fill the soils back up with nutrients.
Okay, and can you kind of explain a little bit about what's going on here?
Yes, here in the Hudson's Bay.
This is the composting area?
This is the composting area. We have a 3-bin system. We mix carbons and nitrogens, and then we mix them back into the soil so that it can help our garden back here. We've got fruits and vegetables and a few flowers. Does
it make a difference? Do you notice it on the garden?
Yes, it allowing things to break down and mixing it back in actually works a lot better than commercial composting. Commercial fertilizers a lot of the time.
And how do worms play a role in this whole situation?
Oh, worms, yes. This is a vermicomposting bin, and what this is here, I'll put it a little lower. We put, you know, paper and food waste and things in here, and you know, we allow it to sort of fester and break down, and we have worms and other beneficial.
Do you put the worms in there?
Yes, okay. We have worms and a few slugs. There's a slug right there, and other beneficial creatures in here, and they are decomposers, and they break down the food and the paper so that it can be mixed back in and used as fertilizer.
So do they just do it? They make the process go a little faster?
Yes, okay. They break it down faster and allow it to, you know, get mixed up.
So that you can use it back in the garden.
Yes, so you can use it in the garden again.
All
exactly.
Right. Thank you, Bradley, and we're going to talk about permaculture now. Amy, tell me what permaculture is.
So permaculture is a design concept or a practice, gardening practice, where you try to use the right plant in the right place at the right time in places where you're going to use it from closest to your back door all the way away. So for example, in our space, the closest to our back door are our herbs and our tomatoes and our strawberries, because that's what we're going to use first. So those kind of in zone 1. And zone 7 is our apple orchard, because we're only going to be there one time a year. So we want them to grow, but we kind of don't really pay attention to them the rest of the time. And so then the rest of the garden we just kind of fill in with everything in between. So that's kind of the tenets of permaculture, and that kind of underlies all of our gardening here at Bay.
Okay, well that really makes sense. And that kind of, does that move us into sustainability design?
It absolutely is sustainable because we're using every amount of space that we possibly can, including going vertically. And now this year we've included sustainable design techniques, which are man-made structures, to actually enhance our garden even further.
And that's kind of where these guys come in.
Exactly.
Okay, so Forrest, tell me what you're learning right now.
All right, so basically we were learning how to design the pergola and it's mainly its uses. When we designed it, we actually had a lot of freedom, and so we pretty much looked on a whole bunch of various websites and things like that, and went through all the different types, and we chose one of the bigger ones mainly to incorporate a lot of shade for some of the other plants that grow in the area. It's primarily going to grow grapes and kiwi, and they're going to go up to the post there and then hang on the roof, and we can harvest them from there.
So how did you guys go about, Joy, I'll have you answer this, how did you go about building it?
Okay, so when we started, we had to look up the design and like what we were going to do. And then really we just went by like off basic guidelines like drilling and cutting like some of the wood and measuring all of it to make sure it stands up straight and not all crooked. Thanks. And yeah, it was actually really easy to actually just put it all together.
Was it surprising how easy it was?
Yeah, actually some of it was kind of difficult with the drilling because
it looks like you guys have some base there.
Yeah, we used like cement blocks with the little stands there to help keep it stable so it won't be falling over anytime soon, hopefully.
Now, what did you kind of get out of this, learning how to build and you know, kind of what these structures do for the garden?
Well, as Ms. Carpenter previously stated, we're going vertical, and so we use a lot of space, as well as, again, it provides a lot of shade for some of the other areas, so through the natural cycle of the sun, we're providing shade to other plants in the area.
And how interesting is it to get out of the classroom and actually build something?
It's actually a lot better. I think that we should have more kind of classes that are more hands-on, because for me, honestly, learning is a lot easier doing hands-on work. So it was a lot of fun, and it was a lot easier.
And a lot of work too, I bet.
Yeah.
But fun.
Yeah, it was fun work.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. All right, guys, thank you so much for having us here, and good luck.
Great, thank you.
All right.
Thanks.
The greenhouse at Bay and other high schools, Fort Vancouver, Columbia River, and Lewis and Clark have events throughout the year. They hold plant sales to help pay for the materials in their program. At Fort and Bay, they also have vermiculture classes. Those are the worms we talked about, so you can learn how to improve your own garden the natural way. To find out when they're having events, contact the school nearest your home. To be a great musician takes a lot of work, but no one can do it alone. In our Snapshot profile, we meet the Ceases, a brother and sister who hit all the right notes with their instruments and in their lives. Michael and Lauren Cease have only been working on this piece for a couple of weeks, but you wouldn't know it from their performance. The brother and sister, two of the most talented young musicians in our area, don't need a lot of time to get it right.
I think that sometimes it can be easier just because you know how to work together already because you've lived together.
But they're still siblings.
The typical filters that you would have in a professional setting are kind of off, so anything goes, and I think that can either be a good thing or kind of a bad thing. So, but we get it done.
If one of us tells the other person what to do with the piece, you don't want to do it because your brother tells you to.
Although Michael and Lauren play together a lot, they're accomplished as individuals as well. Each of them has studied under famed violinist Itzhak Perlman at his prestigious camp.
Being able to work with Itzhak Perlman is kind of a once-in-a-generational opportunity that no one really gets to have, and so for me, that was probably my proudest achievement.
They were among the only public school students to be accepted. Most of the other musicians are home or private schooled. Being in regular schools was important to Michael, Lauren, and their mom.
I want them to be able to do normal things, to go to sports games and to play sports. They both have done all different types of things, and they need to be able to explore that.
As a result, they're more well-rounded than many of their musician peers.
They include music as a part of their day always, but they always include time to do homework and to include friends.
Michael, a senior at Skyview, is headed off to the prestigious Cleveland Institute of Music next fall with hopes of playing professionally afterwards.
There's so many different things that you can do as a musician, and so I'm not going to necessarily zero in on one thing and limit myself to that.
Lauren, a sophomore at VSAA, is headed to Los Angeles to attend the Colburn Young Artist Academy.
I'm sad. I think I do have a lot of really good friends here, and also just like with orchestra here. Like my orchestra friends are my closest friends here. So that'll be hard, but I know that I'll have really good friends there too.
No matter where music takes them, they're playing their own tune, and all we can do is sit back and enjoy.
I'm really proud of these guys. These guys are special. They are special. They're products of the Vancouver School District, products of wonderful parenting. And I have to say, these kids are seriously motivated, organized. What parent wouldn't want a kid like that?
Time for our Snapshot flashback, which takes us back more than a century. The first high school program in Vancouver was established in 1888. It was only the 6th high school in the state at the time and occupied part of the central school building. Because high school was not yet considered an essential element of public education, Superintendent L.H. Leach had to convince the school board to start the program. The first class graduated from Vancouver High School in 1891. You can see all 12 graduates in this picture, along with Superintendent Leach. About 1,000 people came out to watch the commencement ceremony and express their support for public education. If you want to learn more about the school district's history, head to vansd.org. You'll find an historical timeline link on the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. You can flip through photos and historical highlights. We're just about out of time, but before we go, we wanted to thank everyone who helped put this show together, and we wanted to thank you for watching. Until next time, I'm Elena Buller.
Football, volleyball, basketball. Fort Sports brings it to your living room, live as it happens. The very best of high school athletics, produced by the very best professionals and video production students in Vancouver. And if you miss it live, see the replay. Fort Sports, only on Comcast Channel 29. Check the schedule at esd112.org/TV, etc.
round of applause for the award-winning Fort Vancouver Marching Band. They'll be representing the Vancouver community in the parade coming up, the Rose Parade here very shortly. We're very proud of Jim Iafrati and the students. One more round of applause for Fort Vancouver High School. We are so proud of the folks that are being recognized here tonight. They are our heroes. They are committed to helping enhance the educational experience for young people, especially those with economic disadvantages. With the grove that you see there, we have planted 30 ornamental dogwood trees, which every spring will be a resplendent reminder of the generosity of these folks. Now, we will also be putting brass plaques to indicate our lasting appreciation to each of the honorees. That symbol of generosity and dedication to children will be noted with the appropriate words. I'm told that those brass plaques have been ordered some time ago. They've not arrived. So at this moment we have simulated brass plaques, which look a lot like plastic. But the brass is on its way, I can guarantee you. In a moment, we're going to be recognizing a ribbon cutting over there. And we've got several people that will participating in actually the ribbon cutting, as some of the honorees representing this group tonight will be making that official act of opening the patron grove. So let's have a signal over there if you're ready for the ribbon cutting. Continue the business after hours, the reception, enjoy the performances of the students and the tours. Certainly we've got a lot of food left, so please enjoy the evening. Thank you so much, and thanks to our friends from the Chamber of Commerce for making this possible tonight. Thank you.
Straight from Sacagawea Elementary, it's Skyhawk News. News, interviews, and even the occasional game show. Skyhawk News on Comcast Channel 28 and YouTube.com/VanSDTV.
This program is being provided by the 15 members of the Vancouver Educational Telecommunications Consortium, TV, etc.